Hey, what's going on, everybody? For those who are new to the channel, this is Nathan Daley, and I am your law enforcement translator. Listen, I'm a 13-year law enforcement veteran, you guys, here to provide insight on these difficult topics. As we see now, this horrific incident, another mass shooting. Um, Listen, guys, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to discuss. First, before I get into all that, listen, let me thank everybody in the chat right now. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for those who have donated already. We've got this thing cooking. Shout out to the new members who have joined the channel. I really appreciate you guys. It goes a long way. We stay very vigilant over here. We do not censor voices over here. All I ask is that you be respectful to the chat. Now, listen, if you want to come towards me and have some issues, I don't mind. I'll ask you to come up and stand behind your words. You guys, over here we do facts over feelings, right? We take our emotions out of these things because that's one of the biggest problems facing this country. Um, and so, listen, I have a photo of the suspect. I believe to be the suspect, but I don't want to put it up on here until they verify. He has tattoos on his neck, tattoo over the eye. He is a gamer, it looks like. I'm not surprised. You know, some of these guys are online on the computer and, they do these shooting games and things like that. We see, unfortunately, a pattern with the psychosis of these mass shooters. There's a lot going on, you guys. Politics is rooted in all of this. At the end of the day, what we do know is that they're going to use this and politicize this. Of course, it's not so much about the people as much as about the guns, as much as it about the getting voted in. And so there's a lot of politics that's going to be rooted behind this tragedy, and it's very sad and it's very unfortunate. Shout out to KT for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I want to dive back behind some of these old super chats. I didn't get a chance to reach out. Shout out to Freedom. And thank you so much, Freedom, for joining the channel. Welcome to this channel, you guys. Listen, if you want to be a part of this journey, you guys, we have a large group and it's growing. I really appreciate the support. Please take a look at the content. We have very tough discussions over here. And again, we do not censor over here. I answer questions. Don't shy away from them. And again, in reference to this situation, you guys, go ahead and get your questions started. You know how we do this for those who are unfamiliar. When we do a live stream like this, live events, I make sure you guys get your questions answered. If there's anything that I can answer with the experience I do have, I will answer it. If I don't have the answer to it, I know exactly where to lead you to get that answer. If you are going to ask a question, I ask that you put a Q in front of the question. So as I'm scrolling through, I'll catch it and I'll try my best to catch all of them, you guys. Again, thank you again for those who are supporting. I really appreciate it. And Freedom, welcome to the channel. And welcome. Luke Hazley, thank you so much for your support as well, always. This is also a lifelong member here. She's always supporting. Thank you so much, Luke Hazley. Shout out to one of my awesome supporters as well, S. Ed. She is one of our wrench carriers. She handles a lot of the business in the chat. So thank you so much for being here on short notice. I really appreciate it. Broccoli Brock, I appreciate this comment as well, brother. Thank you so much for this. Listen, you guys, let's dive into the content. What is going on, you guys? The police, they're doing a great job investigating. I definitely will give them that. Chicago, unfortunately, is known for their mass shootings. Every major holiday, I'm shocked to see it pop off this early. This is very tragic. 6 people died, over 25 injured. This is extremely sad, to be completely honest with you. I fear that the worst is to come at night. There will be more shootings in Chicago. It's very unfortunate. So please, and other major cities, we know that to be a fact. So a couple things happen. I have a photo. I'm not going to put it up until the news confirms it. I feel pretty strongly about it. This suspect has multiple tattoos, a tattoo under the eye. Allegedly, I think that's one of the things that they're saying. So we'll see. I don't want to throw up any false information though. Before I put it up, I will put a photo up of the vehicle though, if anyone's curious to know what the actual car looks like. I mean, you can Google it, but for the sake of it, I'll probably put a photo up. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Sorry that this thing had started off so tragic. Please pray for the family. You know, we just have to keep moving forward. I put a poll in the chat out of curiosity. Do you believe less restriction on gun laws would make a difference? Will it reduce mass shootings? And so far, what did you guys say? 28% of you guys said yes, and 72% said no. That's 100 people so far that voted. We have 123 watching. That's a pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking that poll. I really appreciate it. 72 said no, you guys. And you're probably right. Will it reduce mass shootings? No. Last year we had over 600 mass shootings in this country alone. 600 mass shootings. And how many gun deaths did we have? 45,000 people died from gun violence just in general in 2021, and 692 mass shootings, you guys. A lot of people don't know what a mass shooting is. By definition, a mass shooting is when 4 or more people have been shot with a gun. You don't have to die for it to constitute as a mass shooting. You just need to be shot more than 4. That is a mass shooting, you guys. We have had 692 in 2021. That's a fact. And so this is stats from the gunviolencearchive.org. You guys who are not familiar with that, this is one of the many data sites that I use to do research and provide information to the streams, you guys. And so let's get into these questions. Question: do we need to create a profile for white mass shooters? I think so. Absolutely. They're already, depending what you mean by profile, there is the problem though, it's hard to create a profile because, as I said, with mass shooting, the definition is 4 or more people shot. So there is a profile for people who are most likely to create. Well, here we go. I stand corrected. It is the suspect. You guys, let's take a look at this real quick. Let's dive back into the stream. Jesus Christ.
Make sure you pick up your phone and dial 911. So again, that is the image of who police are actively searching for. That is the picture of Robert E. Crimo, who goes by the name Bobby. He is from the Highland Park area, and police are actively searching for him. They did not indicate if they thought he was still in the area or not. That was not very clear. But what was clear is that this is a serious investigation. They're looking everywhere, hoping that they find the person that you see on your screen. Looks like he has a tattoo underneath his right eye. And as you can see, he does have dark colored hair. If you know anything about his whereabouts, if you do know Robert Crimo the third, and you know anything about what unfolded and how he may have played a role in this.
This is the guy, you guys.
This is the guy. Let's go back to Anthony Paul. He was there when police just gave us this photo, just gave us this information on Robert Crimo III. Any new updates you can give us now, Anthony, on this person of interest?
Nothing new.
So you guys, this is him. This is the guy. I didn't want to release this photo of him. I was actually, while this was playing in the background, what I was doing was doing some research on him. You guys, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I have well, let me not say that. Let's just say that I was able to get this information. So here's the thing. He's a gamer, one of those typical gamers, right? Online gamer kind of thing. But regardless, this is him. This is a photo of him. The tattoos under the neck, skinny build. I don't know. There's a couple of photos that I have of him. I mean, we'll just go with this. Jay Black says, spill the beans. I can't release the sources, you guys. This is what makes my channel so valuable. 13 years with the law enforcement experience, you guys have access. I have access to things. But this is him. I mean, and he's driving a, what kind of car is he in? I mean, this is the car he's driving in. His mother's vehicle. You guys. His mother's vehicle. And I guarantee you, he lives at home with his mom. This is a mom's house right here. You look, this is a mother's home. I'm really curious to see what the backstory is behind him. To be honest, it's he looks disturbed. He looks disturbed. But I mean, we don't know, right? Tattoos on the hands, tattoos on the fingers. What do we see here? I mean, we can't obviously we're not going to be able to make out much of anything. But they said that he had a high powered rifle. We can't really make out any tattoos on his face. I don't know what that is. But we know this is some flowers and things like that around the neck. I'm pretty sure he has possibly multiple tattoos across his chest. People talk about mental health and things like that. You know, there's no law. There's nothing you can do to a made up mind, you guys. When a mind is made up, that's it. That's it. When we talk about gun control, we talk about gun restriction. What's the real issue? The real issue is criminals do not live by any type of rules or regulation or standards. You guys, that's the problem. The problem is laws affect law-abiding people. If you're not law-abiding, laws don't mean anything to you. They don't. They don't mean anything to you at all. That's the problem. You guys, I've dealt with so many criminals. They could care less about the law. They don't care. So creating extensive restrictions on citizens to protect themselves only hurt more citizens. Criminals are going to get guns regardless, whether you like it or not. That's a fact. Now they're building guns. Like, go figure. They're building them. They call them ghost guns, and they ship them individual parts, and you build it together like a Lego. You guys. So, you know, at the end of the day, will less restrictions reduce mass shooters? No. But what'll happen is people who are protected and can protect themselves can eliminate a threat faster than the police can arrive. Where they can eliminate a threat faster than the police can respond. Whereas instead, you have people who are constantly dying and becoming victims of a crazy individual. A citizen at the scene who's armed could address the threat and protect himself and protect others. So one would argue that no, it might not reduce, but you can reduce the lives being taken by mass shooters. That's a fact. The problem with this country, you guys, is that this country has gotten too comfortable. We think that everybody's supposed to save us. We're no longer trying to save ourselves. You have to protect yourself in this country. You are responsible for your own safety, period. People keep wanting to compare this country with other countries. You cannot. Why? The United States is too far gone. So there's more guns than people in this country, damn near. You just can't. There's nothing you can do about it. It's too late. It's too late. This country is imploding on the inside. And the biggest threat in this country are the people who are in it, courtesy of our politicians. That's a fact. Where other countries are worried about issues from other countries, the United States is worried about people inside. We have more domestic grown terrorist groups in this country. The biggest threat to this country and the citizens are its own citizens. The violence in this country is through the roof. Through the roof. Yeah, of course. This is absolutely true. Where did this come from? Why are people losing their mind in this country? The anxiety. It's stressful to live here. You have your own government playing propaganda tactics on its own citizens for money, for profit, using race and racism and color to divide its own people. We're driving ourselves crazy, and people are making money off of it. Capitalism, absolutely. What is it? It's greed. We put people in power to fix the problem, and they make it worse because it's profitable. United States of America, no, divided states of America. The citizens who live in this country just want to be free and left alone. Yet we're constantly being played and toyed with and manipulated emotionally, psychologically in this country. This is a fact. And those who know. And the majority of the citizens are walking around with their eyes wide shut, running into walls. And the more you try to wake people up, the harder you try to wake them up, the more you rock them back to sleep. Those who know that's the problem. It's sad, man. It's sad. There's a lot of amazing citizens in this country who just want to be happy. Just want to be happy. And we're constantly being toyed with in this country by our own people. And then here we have, more wicked and evil people being born, and they find reasons to take the lives of others when you could have easily gone somewhere and taken your own life. Why do you have to drag people down into your chaos? It's sick, man. Mass shootings, 690 mass shootings last year. This is ridiculous. Guns aren't the problem. People are, you guys. A gun is just a tool. A tool in the hand of a crazy person becomes a crazy tool. It's just that simple. People are mad at the gun. I have guns. My guns have never killed anybody. Why? Because the person holding that gun is a sane individual. Sane individual. What are your questions, you guys, about this situation? He should not have gotten away. I mean, I believe that the biggest problem in this situation here, I'm curious to know what the security system or the security setup looked like at this event. You guys, what is the problem here? We are living in a highly sensitive country right now. Highly sensitive. Highly sensitive. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's absolutely on edge in this country. This parade, right? We had the Boston bomb situation, is a perfect example. There's going to be a lot of people. These are soft targets. These are sensitive targets. They should have properly have been in place. Law enforcement should have been in place monitoring this event. Hell, you can't even go to church anymore without getting shot. Now, when they have these massive gatherings, the police need to be present, right? Buildings and rooftops, those things need to be examined. People are saying, okay, well, how did he do it? How did he get around? How did he not get caught with the weapons and blah, blah, blah? Okay, cool. That's a legitimate question. There's a couple things you could do when you're a criminal and you're planning events like this. Sometimes you stage the scene. Sometimes you plant the weapon there the night before. He could have walked around and I've seen people carry weapons and rifles and gun cases, right? Very discreet. There's a band playing. He can blend right in. Goes to the roof with a little gun case with a guitar case. I'm sorry, a guitar case. Right? Blends right in. He could have taken that. He could have taken that rifle with him, put it back in the guitar case, and walked right out of there. I have video and clips from the shooting from the parade. I'm not going to play it on here because YouTube is highly sensitive. I think the problem is we're living in a dangerous country, but the country is trying to make you believe it's not dangerous. That's why people are panicking. Tell the people the truth. It's not safe out here. It's not safe in this country. The amount of people who get killed by accident from gunfire, from unintended targets, it's high, you guys. It's high. Throw your questions out, you guys. Throw your questions out. Put a Q in front of your question. Let me get to it. I wrote some things down. But I mean, we can go back to the news and kind of see where they are in this investigation thus far. But that is a photo of him. Let me see. Let's see what they're talking about. Dealing with the psychology impact of today. So what are you guys' thoughts? If you have any questions, any direct questions in reference to this, I want to answer as much as I can. as we wait for any additional updates. I don't think we have any major updates so far. Let's get the questions in. If I have not caught your question yet, please re-put it in. I may have missed. Obviously, I definitely missed it with the update with the shooter. Let's see what we have here. And let's go to NATO. See the examples for this thing. First question. Let's see. Hold on. What is she talking about?
Schneider, Senator Morrison, Representative Morgan, and ISP Director Brendan Kelly for joining us today. Your support and assistance is appreciated and critical at this difficult time. Our community, like so many before us, is devastated. It's impossible to imagine the pain of this kind of tragedy until you're confronted with it. Gun violence, a mass shooting such as this, casts a much wider net of agony than what the...
She's not saying nothing. But let me get to the questions. I think we don't, until he's caught, we don't really want to hear much more. Unfortunately, we have, you guys, those who are just getting in, we have 6 people killed, I believe 5 adults, 1 child who has died from this mass shooting. The shooter was on top of a roof during the parade, and he aimed a rifle down and shot multiple rounds into the crowd. It was loud. It was rapid fire. What else do we know? He left that rifle on the roof, surprisingly and suspiciously enough. He may have had other weapons up there. What else do we know? He's they're saying he's a white male. I brought a picture up earlier. Tattoos under the eye and the face. He goes by the name of Bobby Crimo III. So he's been identified. He got away in a Honda, a silver Honda Fit. So we do have updates. About approximately 25 people are injured, and so that's where we are as of now. So they have identified the shooter, but he has not been apprehended as of yet. So let's look at this question. Do you think the U.S. government and NATO set examples for this? That's a good question. To be honest, I can't answer that. What I will say though is, unfortunately, these things go deeper because these things are so interconnected, right? Money is always at the root of it. When you trace the dollars, you tend to trace and find the actual answers to these questions. And so there's money to be made by this. You know, when the shooting in Uvalde, Texas took place, that fear mongering that took place with politicians, the fear of guns being taken away, drove rifles and guns and handguns up 30% within like a day, right? There's always money to be made by these things. And unfortunately, that's just the game that they play in this country. But that's a good question. But I would not know the answer to that one. Too much trickery going on, to be completely honest. Throw your questions in front of your comment, please. Put a Q in front of your comment so I know to address the question directly. There you go. What'd I tell you? They can't help it. We got to talk about guns, 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 guns. Good question. Ghost House says, do you think he could be planning a last stand shootout? Absolutely. That's a strong possibility. I forgot what shooter that was. It was another shooter where he booby trapped his entire bedroom, right? And when the feds went into the window, they noticed he had like a tripwire. I can't remember what shooter that was. But yeah, I think that was he was a shooter from a I want to say a movie theater possibly. So yes, this is a problem, right? Absolutely. This is a potential issue, a potential problem, where of course they're going to take this in consideration that he could be staging to have a forward assault with law enforcement. That's a fact. Good question. Let me see. Man, always. Put a Q in front of your question so I can catch it scrolling down, you guys. Just in case. I don't want to miss it. What's the setup? Questions. What is this setup? What's this setup? Let me see. Q. Lucky says the government and NATO are pushing. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, that's true. World War III, do you think the pro-war propaganda matters? I think it does matter. War is profitable. There's always somebody that wins, right? There's always a winner in war, right? Those are the ones who you check the bank accounts, you find out who the winners are. Unfortunately, we live in a war where people are willing to let people die in order to, expand their financial gains and agenda. It's always been like that. You have people who financiers who are playing both sides of the fence. They win on both sides. Whether you're the winner or the loser, they still come out on top. It's sick, man. It's a sick game. It's a very sick game. But, what do you do? Right? We're pawns at the end of the day. We are all just pawns. Let's see. Question from Desert Wade says, did you watch the Crimo video? And if so, can police act on a video like that? I watched a little bit of the video. He was in a video game. He's like one of those gamers, right? Where they play those live games type of thing. I only watched a little bit. I'm actually downloading and saving it now before the feds take it off, just in case there's something inside that might be, valuable later on. I can show it later, but I'm trying to get to these things before the feds scrub his social media platform. Good question, though. Yeah, great. This is very true. The state of this country is making people lose their mind. Yeah, one could argue that this country is not doing a good job providing a good environment for mental health, right? Absolutely not. Question: have they released photos of him yet? Hope hopped off for a little. Yeah, I got a photo. They released the photo, but I got a better one. I always got the good stuff on this channel. Shout out to you, Kenyon. Let me pull up the photo real quick for you. Let's see what the officer's talking about, though, and I'll grab the photo for you if you got a little time.
Working diligently and as hard as we can. As you know, these things move very, very quickly, and a lot of information is coming in rapidly. We're trying to sort through what's credible, what's not credible in our pursuit of the person of interest. So nothing new as we stand here, but as soon as we know something new, we will definitely bring it to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you heard him. Nothing new, people. Nothing new. So let me remove that. I hate how you can't share multiple things on here. It's kind of stupid. So shout out to you, brother. Let me pull up. This is the suspect. For those who have not seen him before, this is him. He goes by the name of Robert. What is it again? Robert Crimo III. Robert Crimo III. This is what he looks like. Tattoos on the neck, tattoo under the eye. I can't really make that out. This looks like, I'll let the FBI do their thing on figuring out who he is. Tattoos on the hand, it looks like, on his left hand. Outside of that, we don't really have much more info on him at the moment. So, this is just kind of what we're going with. I mean, what do you say, right? I mean, what do you say? Questions, you guys. Questions. Let me see. Let me go through it. Put a Q in front of your question so I can catch it scrolling down. Elevated Engineering says, given the state of America, should mass shooters be considered a natural disaster? I.e. an inevitable consequence of our society? Yes. My assessment of the Uvalde shooter, that's exactly what I said, that a mass shooter is equivalent to a natural disaster. You can't control it. You have no control over them. Why do I say that, you guys? This is a psychological problem. The psychosis behind a mass shooter is very, very intricate. Not justifying their evilness, right? We're not doing that at all. But to your point, I agree. I think it needs to be taught to the people that this is the reality, right? This is the reality. This is what happened when you have a country where people are unstable due to the conditions that the country created. Absolutely. People are losing their mind in this country. Our mental health issues or mental health crises are through the roof in this country. You guys, that's by design. And then when you think about the pharmaceutical companies working right alongside them, creating just enough of a cure to keep you strung out on their prescriptions so that they can make money. You guys, it's never about the cure over here. It's always about the money. And if it makes sense, it'll never make dollars. And that's how they look at it, you guys. That's why this country is not about fixing problems. They are about extending them because that's where the money is at, right? That's where the money's at. Someone, one of my family members said, this should be called the United Snakes of America because they are very snakish when it comes to citizens. You guys, they treat us like pawns. They treat us absolutely like pawns. Let me go through. Any questions you guys have in regards to what happened, how this thing orchestrated police procedures, please ask away. I'll answer them the best of my ability. For those who are new joining into this chat, into this live stream, you guys, this is Nathan Daley. This is my channel. This is our channel. Please welcome to the channel, you guys. Please hit the like button on the way in. Please subscribe to the channel, you guys. It means a lot when you subscribe. It helps with the algorithm, of course. I am on my way. My goal is to hit 50,000 and beyond, but we baby steps, right? We need to hit 20 first. But subscribing helps the channel a lot, you guys. Thank you so much for those who have dropped the super chats and who have been donating as well. If you join the channel, that goes a long way with the work that's put in. You guys, please, I urge you, if you're new, please check out the other content. I also do breakdowns on body camera videos involving law enforcement, and I give insight on these very difficult topics. I just did one last night. I was up all night doing it, watching 13 body camera videos from the Jalen Walker shooting. That was horrific. And really broke down and analyzed that entire situation. So I really like to get your thoughts on that as well. Shannon, thank you so much. And thank you so much for always supporting. You're always here on these live streams. I really appreciate it. Shannon says, do you think the cops got lucky because he left the rifle there? No, I don't think they got lucky. I think the citizens in this country don't really know what type of investigative techniques that we have at our disposal. You guys, you might feel free, but I assure you, you're not free at all, right? Some people would ask, is it better to live here or in China? I would say in one country, you know you're being controlled, and in another country, you don't know you're being controlled. Which one would you pick, right? Welcome to America. You guys, we have so much technology, facial recognition, especially in Chicago. I talk about these things now because it's out in the open, but we've used technology since when I first started, and I only got the surface level access to it. I can only imagine what the feds are using. I've worked with the feds on cases before, and they have some stuff that'll blow your mind. You saw what Eric Snowden said, and look how long ago that was. They have stuff they don't tell you about. I'm not shocked that they found him this quickly. I have my suspicions in regard to that. I won't say it on the stream, but I will say that the rifle, they're doing a tracing on the rifle that can and cannot be useful depending on how he got the rifle, right? If he bought it himself, then of course they can ID him that quickly. I'm assuming eyewitness statements. People saw him get into a car. People were able to get some good description, have cameras in the area, satellite, drones. I mean, there's a lot of things that could have used to tie him to the place. I believe they're very confident as they know where he's at or what area that he's in, simply because the police have told a certain segment of the community that they need to be on lockdown, but said this other segment of the community does not need to be on lockdown. And to me, that says a lot, means that they know what perimeter he's actually in, and they've already surrounded him, and they're going to start closing in on him. So there's a couple different ways to go about doing that. Now his photo's out. People are going to be bringing in tips like, oh, I know this clown. You know, this is him. This is where he hangs out at blase. I believe that he's going to stage for an assault against law enforcement. Absolutely. That is a great question, though. They had a prison photo. They had a mugshot photo that the news released. This photo is here that I did from my own research. They had a photo that they released from him. It was a mugshot, looked like. They have him with, I think, his hat off, I think. So, Common Man, be on it already. Is that an update, Common Man? Let me drop this down so I can see what's going on the news and see if we have any updates as of yet. Tattoo under the eyes, notches for the number 5. I think that is a kill cancer tattoo. Anyone know? Oh, we don't know. That's interesting. I wonder why. You must mean like it's the hatching, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slash with the 5. That actually could be true. That's a good question. If that is it. I couldn't tell from what I saw initially. I couldn't tell, but let me see. Did I have another photo? Let me go through some more of these questions, see what you guys have. Lucky Burrito says, do you support Medicare for all? Everyone can have mental health care. That's a long, drawn out question. I mean, it's not, well, I guess it's relative to this. Medicare for all, honestly, I don't know how to answer that question. I do believe that we could have better healthcare for this country. I think there's a way to do it. Other countries have done it, and I've heard people from Canada tell me about their healthcare, and they said they don't like it. I believe that there's certain basic healthcare that should be provided to the citizens. Our government has a lot of money. I think the misconception is that we don't want to spend money in certain areas, but we blow money in other areas that the citizens are saying we don't want the money blown there, but we do it anyways. Last year the government spent $700 billion on the military budget. $700 billion. You mean to tell me you can't spare a little bit of that military budget for the needs of the people? You know what I mean? So again, it depends. What are your priorities as a country? Your people or your military? And you can answer that, you'll know what country you live in. Other countries seem to do it quite easily, but some people actually care about their citizens. One would argue that that's not so much over here. Is in chat. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to you, Millennial Mark. It's a good friend of mine, you guys. Sharp brother right here. What did he said? If they divert some of that military spending back to the people within the country itself, maybe we'd be in a better state. Absolutely, man. And then let's not even get on this. Zach says 80 billion in Ukraine. Make it make sense. Listen, I'm all for helping other countries, but not before your country. Not before your country has to be first. Your country has to be what the United Nations should be like? It should be like it should be almost like a collective pot of money. And the United Nations does all the saving, right? Let United Nations put on the cape and go out here and save other countries. So what does it look like? Say every country puts in maybe $2 billion a year to the United Nations, right? 2 billion. Every country who's a part of it puts in 2 billion. That money in the pot goes to help for relief effort, to assist, and you assist respectfully. You assist these countries. That's it. But all this other stuff we got going on, all this country, it's a lie. It's a lie. And when you see that, when you read these bills, and they like the one they did for COVID, oh my God. All this other stuff had nothing to do with nothing, was snuck in there. Gender studies and man, it's a joke. They're playing us. They put something on the heading, and then when you read all the little bits in the bottom, it's a whole bunch of foolishness. The problem is a lot of people in this country don't read, right? We just believe what these politicians tell us, and they got us divided between red and blue, and next we hate each other. In fact, they're playing us both. They're playing us both. And they haven't even run the reparations as they should. So 80 billion going to Ukraine. We don't got no business with Ukraine. Take care of your people. This country has an extensive debt to the Native Americans, to Black Americans. That needs to be addressed. And while you're out here throwing money around like we got it like that, we don't have it like that. And you're wasting money in other countries when you can't even take care of your own people. Man, don't get me started on that. Right? Don't get me started on that. Where are we at? Any updates? Let's see. They're back at it again.
Exactly what we have here. Unfortunately, no one caught it ahead of time. No one alerted authorities for whatever reason. I don't know how they came up with the name. My guess is a friend, neighbor, family member put the pieces together, saw a description, or heard a description of the shooter, called authorities, and now we have a name and a person to go with us.
Let me ask you this, Ross, because I know we've kind of talked about the profile of mass shooters before, and kind of who they are, usually the age, the race, etc. In this case, we're seeing the videos, and I know, like you said, the Uvalde shooter, the same kind of thing. Is this a cry for help, or is this like a badge of honor to leave these videos behind? What is the purpose of leaving behind a social media trail, kind of outlining what you're planning to do or what you are going to do?
A number of these social media posts, and I've actually seen some of them this afternoon, I think they could easily be construed as a cry for help that went unanswered or unrecognized. As far as a profile, as we mentioned earlier, the FBI has studied school shootings extensively for the last 20 years. And this individual, assuming he was the one involved in today's incident, fits the profile exactly of a mass shooter or a school shooter. White male, 18 to 20 years of age, 22 years of age in this case, a loner. He attended apparently Highland Park High School. That's where he executed the crime today. So it all fits. It's just unfortunate that we don't have the way and the means to identify these people and their plans before they take place.
Yeah, you would think that I don't know if you've seen all the videos, but some of them, I mean, Ross, they're so disturbing. You would think that someone would report them to even just be pulled down from social media, if not, reporting the person, but for those videos to be taken down. I've seen people have their videos pulled from social media for far less. So I'm surprised that they would even exist still, even, as this is unfolding on social media. Ross Rice, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And it's a possibility we may come back to you later on throughout our newscast. Thank you so much for all the insight. Thank you. All right, we want to go to Anthony Ponce. He is live, where we just heard from Mayor Nancy Rotering, the mayor of Highland Park, Governor J.B. Pritzker, and we also heard from Senator Tammy Duckworth calling for more gun control. Anthony, can you give us an update from where you are right now? I see someone standing beside you there.
Yes, this is 10th District Congressman Brad Schneider, who recently relocated his own household and his own family to Highland Park. We're going to get some thoughts from him. As you mentioned, we just heard from Senator Duckworth and Governor J.B. Pritzker. And Congressman Schneider, J.B. Pritzker described this as a uniquely American problem. He described the weapon involved this afternoon in your community as an assault rifle. Talk about what your plan is, how you're reacting to this, and what your plan of attack is in terms of addressing this from the legislature in Washington.
Yeah, this is July 4th. It's a time where the whole community comes together to celebrate America's independence, the birth of our nation. But it's also roughly the midpoint of the year, and we've had more than 308 mass shootings in this country already this year. This is a uniquely American problem. Today, as the governor said, people woke up, coming to celebrate, coming to be part of a community. This is a close-knit community. People know each other. The parade's full of students from the school organizations, social service organizations, people gathering and just celebrating. And it was shattered today when someone with an assault weapon fired, I've heard as many as 60 shots, killing 6 and wounding at least 24. This community is going from shock tonight to grief and anger. And I think it's important that we hold on to that anger and we say, we can do better. We can make our community safer. We can reduce the gun violence in this country, but we have to do it working together.
Highland Park is, it's a beautiful place. It's got this really cool downtown. I'm guessing there's a lot of reasons that you chose to relocate your own family to this area. How just shocking is it for something like this to unfold right in the heart of this place that you now call home?
Well, no community should experience what Highland Park experienced today, what Uvalde experienced, Buffalo, so many communities around the country. Highland Park is a special place. We're the home to the Ravinia Music Festival. People come from all over the area to listen to music, to convene and just be a part of a broader community. We have, as you said, a vibrant downtown. We have a wonderful pool area. It's a place where folks come and want to raise their family and be a part of the fabric of their community. And today that fabric was torn, and it's going to take a long time for us to bring it back together. But we're strong, and we will bring it back together.
Governor Pritzker also, I think he used the phrase weekly to describe this as a new weekly American tradition, a mass shooting pretty much every week is what we're facing. Is the tide turning among you and your colleagues out in Washington in terms of coming together on this thing to solve it?
I think the ones that make the news, the big stories like here in Uvalde and Buffalo, are too frequent. But as I said before, 308 mass shootings in this country already this year. That's more than daily. It's almost 2 a day. This is unacceptable. And I think the tide, we made a step. President Biden signed the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act that passed the Senate and then the House last month. But we can do more. The House has passed universal background checks. 90% of the country, more than 90%, believe that anyone who's buying a gun should do a background check to make sure that someone like the person today can't get a weapon. Right? There are things we can do, limiting access to these high-capacity magazines that allow someone to fire off 60 bullets within 20 seconds. There are things we can do working together while respecting the Constitution and respecting people's rights. All of us want to make sure our communities are safe, our kids are secure, that they can go to school, go to the park, go to a 4th of July parade, and come home safe and sound, having celebrated the ideals that define America for 246 years.
All right, 10th District Congressman Brad Schneider, we appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us. And on that note, Tia, we will send things.
Okay. What he said was all BS, and I'm gonna tell you why. The problem is they have these politicians come up here and they start talking about these things that they don't know anything about. They never put their hands on a criminal. They never had to put their hands on a criminal in their life. Ever. But want to tell you how to protect yourself. Now, listen, you guys, I'm not a gun junkie at all. I actually don't like guns, right? A cop that doesn't like guns. Who would ever thought? I don't like guns, you guys. I just don't. I'm not a gun nut. I'm not turned on by how many guns I can carry and put on my waist, in my pocket, in my hand. I just don't. I don't. I look at a gun as a tool for protection for my life, my loved ones, and for someone that I might have to protect. That's it. That's it. What is the issue? What did he say? He said, what are we doing? He said that we could do more. No, there's nothing more you can do. There's nothing more you can do. You guys, that's it. You can't control a sick, wicked, evil person. You just can't. There's nothing you can do. Let the people who have the mind to protect themselves protect themselves. There's nothing you can do about it. Background checks means nothing. Everybody I took guns off of were not allowed to have a gun in the first place, but yet they had one. Cuckoo cuckoo, you guys. They're going to get it with or without you. There's nothing you can do. I'm telling you that from experience. Every gun that I've taken off a criminal was not supposed to have one. They had more guns than me. They had more guns than I did. They get them from irresponsible gun owners who leave their guns in the car. They break into homes and get guns that way as well. You guys, they buy guns stolen from gun runners from other states. They get them from gun shows. It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do. People have fake IDs. They get guns. It's so easy to buy a gun these days, it'll blow your mind. The black market is real out here in this country. You buy a gun today and turn around and buy a kidney right afterwards, you guys. It's that easy. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't. Mental health, we got to do mental health background checks. Some of y'all have mental health problems and aren't even diagnosed. Some of you guys are on the borderline of some real mental health issues and will never be diagnosed. Some of you guys are very sane today and will be insane tomorrow. That's a fact. I've seen it happen in real time. I've seen it happen in real time. Evil is evil. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Facts. What's the other issue? He brought up high capacity magazines. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I get it, but it's too late. The problem with this country is that we do things out of money, right? We allow these corporations to do whatever they want because it makes them money. You don't want to infringe on them. You never think past the point of how this is going to impact the people who live in this country. You don't think about it. You let them do whatever they want. And then when things get out of control, you get upset. You get upset. People talk about the health problem, health crisis, obesity, and blase, blase. But you let these corporations sell garbage and toxic food that's not real to its people, and then you're mad that they're killing over. Come on. This country doesn't think it through. It's like we don't think past the dollar sign. It's always profit over people in this country, you guys. Welcome to America. This is capitalism. They don't care about the people. You are nothing more than a pond used to produce money for those who want the money. That's it. It's just that simple. High capacity magazines. Why does it matter? You go from 30 round magazine to start selling 10 round magazines, and guess what the shooters are going to do? They're going to buy 4 more 10 round magazines. What have you fixed? Absolutely nothing. I've never heard such ridiculous statements in my life. Never. I don't know. These little, whatchamacallits are off the chain. All they keep talking about is gun control, gun control, gun control. Gun control. Control what? No, we need people control. We need better laws in place to punish the people for breaking laws. Start holding the people accountable. Who cares? The guns aren't the problem. If you had mass people getting stabbed by knives, then what are you going to do? Stop producing knives? It makes no sense to me. Background checks, doesn't matter. High capacity magazines, doesn't matter. The Uvalde, Texas shooter, this clown had like 60 magazines. He said killing people reduce GDP. Facts. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. You know, it's too late. This country should have thought about the repercussions of allowing people to buy as much ammo as they want, allowing them to make their own ammo, giving access to multiple magazines. They felt that it wasn't important for them to monitor who they were selling these things to. Like, none of this, we don't think about that. Why? Profit over people. It's always about money. And now you're complaining about the monster that you created. This country created the problem that we see today. More guns than people, now you're mad. You didn't see this coming. Why? Because you're too concerned about making money. Now we're here now. We're here now. And what do we need to do? Make sure that the citizens are able to protect themselves. We're too far gone. We're too far gone. Stop complaining about the guns and stop doing something about the criminals. I'm all about holding the criminals accountable. Teach the citizens to stand up for themselves. Teach the citizens on how to address these situations properly. The problem with these guns, we have too many cowards that have guns. Hell, even police officers. We got some police cowards too, carrying guns. Unfortunately, guns give people a false sense of superiority. That's what this is all about. It makes you feel important because fear to some people It encourages them. It helps validate them. It makes them feel important. When someone's afraid of you, that can be intoxicating, seductive to a sick individual. Power, you guys. A lot of people live and die in this country will never experience what it feels to be powerful. But a gun terrorizing people, one could say that's a form of power. It's empowering to a sick, twisted individual. In that moment, they get to feel powerful. We need to start educating the citizenry on how to handle these particular type of situations. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Where are we at? We're at 2 hours. I'm gonna end the stream here. You guys. Oh, this is dope. At least they got something a little better up. They have a very, God, he looks sick. Jesus. Let me see.
Damage on that vehicle. That's not every single Honda Fit that's out there on the road, considering the damage done to the back of it. Again, it has an Illinois license plate of DM 80653. If you know anything about where Robert Crimo III is described to be a 22-year-old from the Highland Park area, considered to be armed and dangerous, don't hesitate to pick up your phone and call 911. If you see him or you see that vehicle, do not approach him. Do not approach the car. Call police. If you have any additional details as to videos or anything that may lead police to where he is, they do have a hotline number that you can call separately from calling 911, and that number is 1-800-CALL-FBI. Again, we do know that 6 people at last check have died as a result of this mass shooting, and several people have been treated at North Shore Highland Park Hospital, ranging in ages from 8 years old to 85 years old. Let's go back to our reporter, Dane Placco, who's been out there since the very beginning, giving us updates on what's happening out there. Dane, I know you're at a new location, but can you give us an update on what you know right now?
Yeah, we're at a new scene actually in Highwood, just north of Highland Park, and it might be a mile from the shooting scene, where there is a heavy police presence right now. And that is because this is a neighborhood, this is a block in which Bobby Crimo had lived off and on for some time. Let me step out of the way here, and I want Ed to be able to zoom in, and you'll see up there, there's a house, kind of a beige, a brownish colored house, where there are a number of FBI agents and other law enforcement agents right now. They've been interviewing a person on the front porch. Those agents have been walking around this neighborhood, some going door to door, engaged in conversation with some of the neighbors that we've seen. Now, talking to a neighbor here who did not want to go on camera, they said that it's their understanding that that house was owned by Bobby Crimo's grandfather, who passed away. At that point, Bobby Crimo's father, who ran for political office in Highland Park and lost, moved into that house along with Bobby Crimo's uncle and Crimo himself. The neighbor said that Crimo had been there off and on for quite a bit of time, was well known to neighbors around here as something of a troublemaker. He said that the quote I wrote down, he said, "The kid has been a problem for years." There is another house in which there's also a heavy law enforcement presence right now. That is in Highland Park, again, close to the shooting scene, a house on McDaniel. That is believed to be a house that his mother has lived at, and apparently there may have been a split in the family at some point, and Crimo was moving back and forth between his father and his mother's home. But he has been spending time here quite a bit, according to neighbors. They were aware of his presence here in the neighborhood. The individual I talked to said that his father, Bobby Crimo Sr., is just a great guy. He owns a couple of small shops in Highland Park. Again, he'd run for political office. had nothing but good things to say about his father, but said that the suspect, the 22-year-old that they're looking for now, Bobby Crimo Jr., has been problematic, has had trouble in the past. Again, setting the scene, we are in Highwood. There is a lot of law enforcement. In fact, just moments before you came to us.
Yep, and there you have it. That photo that they showed earlier, guys, that is a mugshot. And to their point, like I mentioned it before, you could tell he lived at his mom's house. He was a menace to his community. And I'm glad they confirmed that because, I mean, yeah. He also has a tattoo over his left eyebrow. He has a tattoo under his right eye. Can't really make it out. The tattoo's around his neck. This is one of the photos that I was able to pull from some research. I mean, again, this is it, right? A menace to society, a problem to his community. The people already acknowledge that. I would really like to see what his criminal history looks like. They need to go ahead and drop his criminal history now, right? We're not going to make any excuses for his foolishness, but we know he was a menace to society. So I'm really curious about that. I'll update you guys as I get some more information. Probably won't do another stream until he's apprehended. But I'm really curious what that criminal history looks like. I'll do some digging and I'll update you guys as well. This is extremely, extremely tragic, you guys. Please keep the family in your prayers. Again, another sad, twisted, unfortunate turn of events. It's very, very disappointing. But, I think as a country, we need to start addressing these things, how to deal with them as they happen, how to protect yourself, how to keep yourself safe, and what is a protocol. Just like we have fire drills, we need to have active shooter drills in public and things of that nature. What do you do? Where do you go? Who do you call? And how do you stay safe? So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for today. This is last minute. I really appreciate all the support today. Those who became members, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who donated to the channel. You guys, if you're just not getting in, please subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. It goes a long way. I really, really appreciate it. And if you find it on your heart and you want to support the channel, please, by all means, any donation is a blessing. I really, really appreciate it. It does help towards building the channel, and it goes a long way. No amount is too little, you guys. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. Any questions that you guys have or come up with later on, please, by all means, type it in the comment section. I'm really good at trying to respond to everybody on here. Shout out to you, Norris. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Happy 4th of July, you guys. This is very sad. Please stay safe out here. The day is not over yet. There are going to be people out here running around acting stupid, firing guns in the air. As we know, what goes up comes down. So please, please, please be careful while you are out here, you guys. The night is still early. It's sad that we have always turned these holidays or these events where we're doing things to celebrate family, do things with family, that now we have to worry about our safety. And that's, it's very disappointing, right? We see this on holidays such as this, parades. We also see this on like Halloween, those who celebrate Halloween. When I was growing up, you couldn't eat the candy, right? You had to inspect the candy before you ate it because people were poisoning the candy and stuff like that. So it's sad, right? Like this is where we're at. Unfortunately, this is where we're at. You guys, I'll keep you updated. With that being said, thank you so much for all the support again. I really, really, really appreciate it, you guys. Please have a safe 4th of July. And with that, check out the channel. Good night, everybody. Stay blessed. God bless and good night.